Come on in, guys. Welcome to Idled Out, where we talk all things Survivor. My name is Luke, and today we're talking about Episode 6 of Survivor Winners at War. 2 boots, some crazy game, some man panties, a little something for everyone. Seriously, there is a lot to dig into this episode, so I want to talk about my top 5 immediate takeaways. Rather than a full episode recap, I'll be highlighting 5 things from this episode I think we should be talking about. That might be specific characters, or moves, or moments, or just general things I noticed about the episode. So, spoiler warning. My 5th takeaway this episode is that Tyson's call on cashing in his fire tokens for peanut butter was the right move. I know conventional wisdom says, hey, save your fire tokens for an advantage in the upcoming challenge, but the calories and protein in peanut butter is already an advantage in the next challenge, and an advantage in day-to-day life. And that wasn't some, supermarket jar of peanut butter. That was industrial size. With that, Tyson just became the front runner in my mind to return from the edge. Maybe Jenna and Heidi were actually onto something all the way back in the Amazon. My 4th takeaway this episode is that all of the fire token negotiations are the payoff this advantage needed. While I like the fire tokens a lot more than I thought I would, I was afraid that we were going to have a game changer situation on our hands, where they all get hoarded until the end of the game, and then the final 5 or 6 cash in 15 fire tokens apiece for God knows what idols or advantages. But this is a group of winners, not a group of Troyzans. They're wisely leveraging their fire tokens for safety and playing it a bit faster and looser, as winners quite often do. One of the big differences between a good player and a great one, in my opinion, is that great players can find creative ways to make the tools of the game work for them. Tony turning an idol into a bag of tricks, for example. And now the players are taking game's currency and using it to barter. It may not have worked out for Parvati this time, but I'm excited to see where it goes. My 3rd takeaway this episode is that even if it was harmful to his game, the return of Tony's Spy Shack was exactly what I wanted out of Tony. It was bound to happen sooner or later, and I'm glad it was this episode. You've just got to admire a man who will run off into the jungle just as soon as he's needed most for strategizing. Unfortunately, I think that now that Tony's gotten a taste of playing his old game, there's no going back to his pre-swap under-the-radar play. I'm fully expecting Tony will be full steam ahead the rest of the season, to his benefit or his downfall. My number 2 takeaway this episode is that, wow, that was quite the heel turn for Wendell. Now, I'm not fully convinced that this treble performance wasn't a premeditated play to throw Parvati off the scent that the DeCall boys were a united front and convince her not to play a potential idol. Although if it was pointless because Parvati clearly knew her goose was cooked. Still, what's most important is that the show didn't bother explaining that if that is indeed the case, so Wendell comes off looking very poorly here. Wendell, if you wanted screen time, this wasn't the way to do it. My top takeaway this episode is that this season really is a passing of the torch to the new players. With Tyson, Boston Rob, Ethan, and now Parvati and Sandra going out before the merge, it really feels like the end of an era. And now the new players will rise from the old players' ashes to become Survivor legends in their own right. I mean, it is tough to argue against Denise's idol play this episode being one of the best and most cutthroat moves ever. And Michelle seems primed to become the Parvati of a new generation. And other new winners have proven themselves this season too, like Adam and Sophie. So hopefully as the sun sets on the legends of the game, it rises on a new group of great Survivor players and characters who will be the legends of the next 40 seasons of Survivor. Got nothing else for ya? Please consider bequeathing your fire tokens to the like and subscribe button, and I'll get you more Survivor content just like this. Until next time, don't get idled out.